guys, welcome to our first ever podcast. Today we'll do a quick introduction as to who we are. You guys have shown us a lot of love, for which we are very appreciative. My name is Jay and this is my husband, Achilles.
Hello.
And we're going to explain to you guys how we met and how our love story formed. Aren't we?
Of course, we're going to talk about the cultural differences and how everything worked.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention that this is our first ever podcast. We don't really know how a podcast should work and all that. So bear with us. Be patient. We will try to keep it fun and real at the same time. And
yeah, we will.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, let's kick it off then. Achilles, how did we meet?
So my side of the story, yeah.
Do you get my side, your side? Okay, fine, go on.
This is my side. I will have to say my side.
Go on, tell me your side of the story.
So my side of the story, I was working by a coffee shop that I was working by every day for months, and on that day I decided that me and my friend will go on that coffee shop, and this is where you were for your first ever day.
It was my first ever day.
Running two coffee shops.
I was running two coffee shops.
You were working on that coffee shop, Muse Southampton. Shout out to Muse Southampton.
Shout out to Muse coffee shop. That's what
brought us together. We much appreciate that place. Yeah, and then there you are doing a shift there.
Yeah, I was.
Apparently because you were covering someone. And
do you know what? The owner of Muse, he had introduced me to that coffee shop that day.
Bilal, my brother.
Great guy. He was like, Jay, look, what I'll do is I'll show you the ropes that day, because obviously it's going to be your first day in this location. And I was like, yeah, sure, bro, that'd be great. So he's there, obviously working on the tills, showing me how it works, and I've jumped straight on the coffee machine, so kind of good with the coffees, right? And if I skip forward enough, I made this man the best coffee of his life.
Yeah, I was drinking a double macchiato at that time.
You were?
Coming from Greece, I was trying to find Freddo espresso. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I just needed to work around a warm coffee. So this is where I tend to, So I entered the place, I see Jay inside.
Mm-hmm.
I asked her for a double macchiato, and that was the
It was
first...
a banging macchiato. It was.
It was the first ever coffee from your hands.
It was.
With many that came and many to come.
Yeah, absolutely. After that, it's been coffees all the day.
But yeah, it was from my side, which I'm sure you will agree. We've talked about it a lot. It was a moment that I had this feeling inside of me that something is different here. Something is different here. That was my first ever interaction with you.
It was. So how it happened was Achilles came up and he goes, that guy, is he your husband? And I said, no, that's my brother. We're working together. It's his coffee shop. And he was like, okay, do I need to ask him to ask you out, or do I get to ask you out? And I was like, you don't get to ask him to ask me out. And I don't know you, so you don't get to ask me out either. And he turned around to his friend. He had this dog in his hand as well. It was a beautiful dog, by the way. And he's come with like a beard this long at the time, and I was like,
my hair was down.
Is this guy a Sikh? What's going on? Ginger white Sikh, what's going on here? And he actually turned around, he flipped over to me whilst I was making his coffee, and he went, one day you're going to be my wife. I was so taken aback, because I was like, this guy's come in, I don't know who he is this how this coffee shop runs, type of thing? And I think I sort of got quite standoffish at that point, and I was still trying to be very professional and kind, because obviously I have to manage this coffee shop, and I thought this must be one of the customers.
So that is your side, yes? Yeah? So from my side, yes, as Greek and working 15 years in hospitality, okay, I have a charisma with women. I might have said that in the past, but on that day, I really felt something different. I really felt it. And of course, it is going to, what I'll say now, I mean, you know that, but we're just sharing our story. So on that day, same day, I went home and I sat down and I looked on the computer on Google. I searched for ginger Indian
Oh,
kids straight away. I don't know why. Never in my past I've done that, but it was something that it was a calling. I mean, I knew it. From your side, probably you didn't. Not probably. We know you didn't.
At that moment, no, I didn't. I think I was quite closed off to any kind of marriage or children. I didn't want to. So I was just like, maybe this coffee shop runs like this. This is the kind of customers that come in here. I was just like, okay, we'll see how this one goes. I remember you were asking me that day as well. You were like, are you a Gemini? And I was like, how's that got anything to do with it? Which, by the way, I am. And I was just like, whoa, it was like this guy is intense. Like, this is all within like 5-6 minutes of us meeting, by the way. And I'm just making a coffee, which usually takes 2-3 minutes, all of this interaction. And I was like, wow, this is intense, first ever customer. He was also my first ever customer, which was just too much. And he turned around to me and he said, I know you're a Gemini because my sister is also a Gemini and you remind me of her. At which point I was like, oh, okay, cool. This guy's like coming in and maybe he just, wants to call me sister. So I was like, yes, bro. And he was like, no, I'm not trying to be a brother. And I was like, okay, now how do I deal with this guy going further? And he goes to me, where are you from? Like, your look and like, where are your people from? And I remember explaining to him, I was like, I'm North Indian, we come from Punjab, I'm Sikh by religion. And he was so confused because he'd never heard of Sikhs before, he'd never heard of Punjabis. He wasn't able to distinguish Indian from Punjabi, from Sikh, because it's quite relatively different. And I think I really blew your mind at that point.
You did, because of something, sometimes you are in a cocky place and you say, oh, I know a lot of things, I know this, I know that. And then a person comes in your life and you know nothing about this person's culture, anything. So the reason I said that you remind me of my sister is not about how you look. Yeah. My sister, she has a little bit darker skin than me, but I didn't say that because of that. I said it because of your persona, your dynamic, how masculine you come across.
Yeah, I do.
You used to come across.
I used to come across very
Things have changed now within our relationship.
Well,
you might look like this on other people, but
yeah. With you, I'm very feminine. But yes, for the outside world, I think I come across very fierce, and I do come across very much in my masculine and very standoffish, unless of course you know me. That is very true. I also remember asking you, I was like, okay, bro, what's your name? Because at that point you already put me on a stand-up position, so I was just like, okay, bro, what's your name? And I remember being quite aggressive about it. And you were like,
you were like this. You were like, what's up? What you want, innit?
And I was like, okay, fine, don't go there with me, alright? And I asked him, I was like, okay, bro, like, what's your name, type of thing. And he was like, my name's Achilles, I'm Greek. And I was just like, okay, Hercules. And I think that was just me being
Hercules.
I was just like, okay, I was like, alright, Hercules, Zeus in the place. No, but I think from the stand-up, I straight away could see that this guy had a lot of charisma. I will give you that. You had a lot of charisma. You were very brave, very forthcoming with what you wanted. And
you asked me that. So to interrupt you, you asked me that. You said, you think you're brave, isn't it?
Yeah,
you think you're brave, innit?
I did. I was like, you think you're brave, innit, mate?
What I said? What was my answer?
You said, yes, I'm Greek. My name's Achilles. Of course, I'm brave. And I was, I liked that actually. I liked that about you a lot because it gave a very warrior stance from where you came, and because of my background, I respect that highly. It's how I come across as well, because of my religion and the way that I'm brought up. It is very, here we are, this is how it's going to be. So I respected that from the first stance. I'll give you that.
Yeah. By the way, we are talking for the 17th of December 2021.
Yes.
All numbers have a lot of meanings for us, and we found a lot of signs in front of us when it comes to numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys believe on coincidences, on numbers that you see in front of you. Let us know in the comments if you do. But yeah, so we've seen a lot of numbers. So that was 17th of December 2021, 17th of January 2022. She finally accepted to go on a date with me. But yeah, we'll get into that. So let's see, what was the first cultural shock moments?
Just really quickly, on the alignment and the numbers and stuff, I remember I asked Babaji. I was like, Babaji, look, this guy's come along. I'm not entirely sure. Give me a sign. I kept seeing number 11 everywhere. The first time he phoned me on my phone, it was 11:11 at that time when he phoned me. And thereafter, I kept seeing 11. I kept seeing 11. I kept seeing this picture of a Spartan hero. I kept seeing... I don't know, there were just so many things happening at that time because I was so closed off to any kind of marriage, any kind of children in the future. I just kind of wanted to just, you know, just do my own thing, make a ton of money, adopt some kids, and that was my plan until this man came along. It was a lot, and I think I also remember saying to you, you've got like a beard like a Sikh, and you were like, I don't know what that is right now, but I will go and find out. And maybe I am.
Which for some reason I cut it for our first date.
Yeah, funny enough you did.
Yeah. Because at the time I was missing 2-3 teeth.
Yeah. No, I think you were quite conscious about it.
That's why I did it. I did it so you see me for who I really am. But you never cared about looks.
I didn't.
You never cared about these things. The only thing you always cared, it was my heart.
It was your heart,
and
100%.
And how I treat you.
Yeah. You were very kind to me, you were very loving, you were very respectful. And I think that really got me on trick. I'm giving out way too much now. But no, with the first day, I don't think I was very quick to say yes. Even on that day, I ended up going.
No, we had a lot of jokes, which if we go in detail now, this podcast is going to be hours, days. So we plan to be 30 minutes just to get a first experience.
The first day can be another day.
Yeah. The first day of 3 hours podcast can be another day.
Yeah, and it was a lot of me saying, yeah, maybe. And then I said no. And then I was like, had no choice because a lot had happened that day. I'd sprained my ankle, by the way.
Yeah, before we go into that.
Yeah.
So let's see what was because we wrote some things that we're gonna talk about. Yeah, with something very simple. What was the first cultural shock moments? From your side about Greeks, for example.
Mine's to do with your cuisine, by the way. You guys put feta cheese in everything.
We love feta.
And there was feta cheese in everything. And guys, you know what? One thing though, watermelon with feta.
Yeah.
So nice.
If you haven't tried it,
you guys gotta go try it.
With feta.
It probably sounds weird because to me I was just like, no. And I love watermelon.
Not all the Greek cities, but yeah.
So good.
Feta is on all plates. You can have it everywhere.
Oh, also another thing that I figured out was the Greeks use their hands a lot, right? And there were so many similarities in certain things, but I loved how you guys would say something's really good and you use your hand like this.
Yeah.
Hey, kala! I loved it. I was like, I'm going to adopt that for sure. I loved it. The one other thing that I thought was quite interesting for me is the way these guys hug, right? It's so embracing and it's just like they hold on to you and you're just like, you're squeezing me.
Yeah.
Oh, way too hard. I met his mom, his sister, his aunts, grandma. Everyone hugs you like they love you so much. You can really feel the love just pouring in. And they give you a kiss on either side. We don't do that. We don't do kisses like that. Yeah. And if you don't move in the right angles, because at the beginning I didn't know, so it's it's very Greek thing, very European of you guys, Mediterranean.
To kiss on both cheeks.
Kiss on both cheeks. Yeah. And then obviously, when I first met your family, I didn't know I need to now switch my cheek to, you know, so have another kiss. So I stood there and I got 3-4 kisses on the same cheek and I was like, yo, bruv, that says a lot.
Yeah, because we are combining 3 cultures being together. It's not only Greek and Punjabi, because you were born and raised here and also you were born and raised here. Okay?
Yeah.
Even though she's a Punjabi teacher, don't try to talk Punjabi to her because she can teach all of you. Yes, you can. That's the truth.
I've really put an effort to learn Punjabi properly. I have, yes. So I read, write, and speak it.
We were trying to adjust and see how everything works. And for me, coming here, You know, you see someone, it's not easy to make friends here. So you see someone, you want to go for a coffee. In Greece, you meet someone today, tomorrow you can be out for coffee. It's very simple.
Also, I've realised another thing with the culture, right? They will come and sit on your table just because they want to be friendly. That doesn't happen here in England, guys. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
That was a huge cultural shock for me.
They will call you weird if you go to someone's table out of nowhere.
And go sit with them, which I think is actually quite beautiful. But it doesn't happen here. And I think that was one thing as well, like at the beginning. Am I just taking everything away from you? I'm so sorry. But like, there'd be times when he'd ask me for something. And I think this is where my British culture came in quite a lot. I'd expect a thank you and a please and an excuse me and a bless you. Just because, I guess because obviously I graduated as a primary school teacher as well. So there's so many of those kinds of elements that I was expecting. And you were like, I'm Greek. We don't need to say thanks and please all the time.
Not all the time. I mean, in Greek culture, the word please, so please sounds like one syllable, in English, which is easy to put everywhere. Can I have this, please? Can I have this, please? Please is so easy. In Greek, it's se parakalo. Se parakalo. It's 5 syllables. And when you want to be fast, when you are with your person, you don't say,
could you pass me the water,
please?
Can
you pass me the water, please? Δώσε μου το μπουκάλι, σε παρακαλώ. It's too long. You put your kindness onto the color of your voice. Like, δώσε μου το μπουκάλι. How can I say that? This is the bottle. But can I have the bottle? We don't say please. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we're not kind.
Yeah, of course. It's
but
a different
you know, because I'm self-taught in English, so I taught English myself.
Kudos, by the way. Kudos.
Thank you.
For your great English.
Thank you. I get a lot of compliments about that, but I still feel that my vocabulary is not that rich as yours. I mean, it's normal, but I don't feel satisfied.
No, but it's extensive enough.
Yeah. So. What I want to say.
We're talking about the cultural differences here and how obviously the please and stuff came from my British culture. Yeah,
so it was difficult for me to adjust everything with please and thank you. At the beginning it was a little bit of you're not kind to me, you're rude to me. Like, I'm not rude to you, I'm just don't say please and thank you all the time.
Side note, man. He's saying that I was very masculine to start off with. No. And then I went into the whole, but I need you to say please to me. I need you to say thank you. I need you to ask me nicely.
Yeah, but at the same time, you are Punjabi, I'm Greek.
Yes.
In Punjabi, you don't say please.
No, we don't actually.
That's the English coming.
Yeah, that's the English coming in.
And this is what I was saying to you. So English of you, you want please and thank you all the time.
Yeah, you would be like, okay, so English of you. And I'd be like,
yeah, because you already shared with me at that time that in Punjabi we don't say please and thank you all the time. It's very strict.
Yeah.
Like
to the point.
Yeah, to the point. Yeah, so
I would say actually that is very true. There is more similarities between the Greek and the Punjabi culture than there is between the Greek English or the Punjabi English culture, for sure. So I think that's what helps us bridge those two. So yeah. Okay, so what did you find? What was the word that you used when you first came into the Punjabi culture?
Cultural shock moment.
What was your cultural shock moment?
Because at the beginning, I mean, I met your mom and your Mimi.
Mamasi, by the way.
Yeah, within, I don't know, 1 month after our dating.
That's right.
1 month after.
He also got a tattoo, by the way, of my name.
Okay.
1 month in. It's on his neck. It says
Georgia. Yeah, I had that here. I did that because at that time it was already 1 month. I knew you for 1 month.
Yeah.
Because of our conversations through this month, because you had COVID, I wasn't working at the time.
That's right.
So we had a lot of time to communicate.
We did.
Every single thing felt like, wow, cannot be true.
I found my wife, I found my husband.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was slowly falling in love with every single similarities that we had.
We did have
similarities on not the way we act and how we interact with other people only, but it was similarities on how we want to go ahead in this life, and our perspective about behaviors and
our goals aligned.
Our goals and everything.
That's what it was. Like we could see our future and be like, well, this is what I want to do. And it was just so many moments of, oh my God. Like, have you read the manifesto of my life or something as to how do you know all of this? And I think as time went on, we also, we also realized that which by the way, I thought I was never gonna have children, didn't want any children. We then started having conversations of how we would raise our children and which faith they would be in as well, which was very early on, actually.
Yeah. So I was saying, because you get that, you just flow. Yeah. I mean, that's her. She talks a lot. I mean, I talk a lot. I talk a lot too. People are saying that when you guys are two together, nobody can have a word in.
That's actually very true.
Which is usually couples are not like this.
No, there's usually a yin and yang, isn't there? The one person's a bit quieter, the other one's a little bit more talkative. Yeah. We don't have this.
I think I'm holding back.
Yeah, he has to hold back at times just to give me the opportunity.
I'm a gentleman.
He's a gentleman. Shabash, Teri.
Yeah. So I want to say what was the cultural moment.
Yeah, please tell me.
The shock cultural moment about Punjabis,
yeah.
At the beginning, I didn't have a lot of interaction with Punjabis, so at the beginning, I didn't have any. I had only from what you told me, from how you guys are.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I didn't have, and also, you are English.
No, I don't know.
You have the...
I'm a great unison of both.
Okay, but being with you, you're just one person. I didn't have gatherings of Punjabi people. I mean, now I do, now I have things to say, but at the beginning, I didn't have a big shock. What I realized very early on is that we have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
For example, if Greeks are outside, for coffee, for food, everyone is running to pay first about all the table. The same with Punjabi.
Yeah.
And also how we party a lot, we drink a lot, we are loud, we are the same.
Yeah, the cultures are very, very similar.
Not the same, we are very, very similar. Very, very similar. So I don't think it was something that I was shocked. Something that I was shocked about, it was the fact that you guys are still, some of you are doing arranged marriages.
Yeah.
That was one because we as Greeks, we used to have proxenio, we call it. It was an arranged marriage, not force the people, but bring them together in order to get married.
Like a rishta.
Like a rishta, yeah. Which is, this stopped from my mom's generation. So my grandma's generation, they realized that, listen, things have changed, times have changed, there is no arranged marriage anymore. And they got it really well, but your side of culture, they don't get it yet.
We still do that. Yeah. So although we've moved on from calling it arranged marriage,
it's not a bad thing. They are doing it out of love because they want you to have the best and everything.
Yeah, they want to pick the right people for you, I guess, like in terms of how they think it should be, in terms of compatibility. So now it's moved away from the idea of like arranged marriages to more like introduction marriages. So your family will find somebody who they think is compatible family-wise, and they will introduce you guys. So yeah, that still does go on. My parents were actually married, arranged marriage, and it was over a photograph. They literally had just seen a photograph, and my mum went from England to Punjab to marry my dad. It was done over a photograph.
That's cute. They're still together.
They're still together, yeah. Obviously, it still works that way, but then that's the cultural standard. Yeah.
Okay. Let's not go in depth in different subjects.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's keep it about us now.
Yes.
What food did you try from each other's culture and how was it?
She got a funny story about this. I remember Achilleas' dad had come down to see him and to see me. This was quite early on in our relationship.
Yeah.
And I wanted to sort of impress the father-in-law, let's say, right? And I was like, I know what, I'm gonna make you guys pasticcio. Because they were like, oh wow, you know how to make pasticcio. I was like, got the right one here. I was like, absolutely, because I'm quite a cook, I'm a little bit of a baker as well. And I like to indulge in different cultural cuisine. So here's me thinking, right, I win, I'm going to make this, I'm going to win their heart through food. So I've made pasticcio, I've gone around to his house and to his dad, and I've presented them with this pasticcio, and they both look at each other, and they look at me, and I'm like, guys, pasticcio, and they just burst out laughing. They're like, what is this? I'm like, come on guys, like, pasticcio is the easiest thing you can ever make. It took me like 20 minutes. Here you go.
Pasticcio takes like 2-3 hours.
Alright, and he was like, this is not pasticcio. Like, you've mixed some spaghetti with some feta and some cheese and milk, and she's saying it's pasticcio.
So she showed, so just to make it a bit shorter, because she will put all the details in. So I told him, show me the recipe, what is the recipe that you followed? And she showed me the recipe. Now I googled pasticcio and I found this. And she showed me, and it says on the top with big letters, Albanian pasticcio. Like, we're not Albanians, that's not pasticcio. It's totally different. So pasticcio is made with thick spaghetti that they have a hole in the middle, yeah, like a cylinder. Cylinder?
Yeah, cylinders.
Yeah. So spaghetti number 8, 9, 5, 6, I don't know, it's thick one.
Number 4.
And there's bechamel on the top, and there is a lot of big
and
procedure.
meat goes into it and all of this kind of stuff, and it's fantastic, by the way.
So
now, I didn't know that at the time, so therefore that was a little bit of a funny moment with your dad, and he didn't speak English very well.
Not pretending he understands.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah.
So the first food I tried, I think it was from your mom's place.
It was.
The Punjabi takeaway.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was I think the first day I ate everything. I ate samosas, all of them, like chicken, lamb, and vegetable.
Yeah.
The vegetable was
the
always
Punjabi samosa.
the more spicy one. And I also ate rice with lamb and sauces and spices and everything. Yeah, I think it was, for me, because I don't like spice. I never liked it. It was a bit of I was on fire.
Yeah,
I was on fire.
I think we blew his head off.
Now I'm okay. I can handle it. When it's too spicy, I still get a bit red and stuff. But yeah, now it's better. Now he's
actually quite good. I think you're.
Was there any funny misunderstanding or language barrier that made you laugh? I think we mentioned about it. So for the language barrier, it was a little bit that, because it was my first year of practicing English and talking English every single day, after being self-taught and without proper education, I was struggling a little bit to communicate. But you understood me.
Yeah.
So she had to explain to other people that we were sat together. If I was saying something, she would explain what I mean. Because I wasn't saying exactly what I wanted to say, just because of I didn't have experience.
And that's right.
Speaking so much
became
English.
your personal translator.
Yeah.
So I would explain to my friends that that's not what he really means. What he means is this.
Yeah.
And
yes, this is what I meant. You didn't say that though.
It's because I knew what he was like and what he meant. But a lot of the time, because your English was quite broken at the beginning stages, people weren't able to understand what he really meant, so they would just sit there.
And also confused. The accent, I never tried to put any accent on. But if someone meets me at the beginning, they need a few minutes to understand my language if they haven't been around foreigners.
That's right, they had to adjust to your accent quite a bit.
Adjust to the hearing, to listening to my accent.
Yeah. Because it's very coherent what you're saying, but a lot of the people just take your accent and they're like, well, what?
Yeah.
Not so much so now.
Wait until I started speaking Punjabi.
Oh yeah, exactly. His Punjabi accent is pretty good though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
When it reaches there,
he's done
Greek English I speak, yeah? So when your tongue goes for Punjabi, back and up, it doesn't go neither in English or or Greek. So
that's because we have
it's completely different word.
We have 35, 40 letters in the alphabet. And then we have our vowels as well, yeah.
So what do we learn about each other's traditions and celebrations?
I found one thing which was very similar, right? We went for Vaisakhi now, Nagar Kirtan that we went to. And we were all outside and we did the Sikh parade to celebrate obviously the birth of Khalsa. When we went to Greece, but a lot of the Christians, they were walking outside with a candle in their hand and you were all walking behind the priest.
Yeah, they're carrying the body of the dead Jesus on Friday, and then on Sunday of the big week, I don't know the translation, we call it Holy Week, during the Easter. So on Friday they carry around the body of Jesus that was killed, and then on Sunday is the resurrection, and the light comes with hundreds of millions spent from the fire to come from Jerusalem to travel all around the world and the whole Europe. Yeah. Anyway, there is a lot There are a lot of politics and money involved in that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's quite cute. And it is a tradition that can say that this is what
it was quite
you
similar,
saw. Yeah.
because what I saw was everybody was out on the streets walking in obviously a religious way with the candle and the light in their hand, and they're walking and praying around, you know, to get from one church to the other.
When you go with a holy light in the house, you do a cross at the doorstep.
Yeah.
You do a cross to bless the house.
Yeah, I thought that was really cute.
I've seen taxi drivers that do it even in the taxi.
Oh really?
Yeah, at the roof of the taxi.
It's nice, you know. It's cute when somebody is doing something out of pure intention. I really enjoyed that, and I thought that was very similar because it was done to, you know, it was like a parade that you're doing outside, but it was done with the intention of bringing light to your life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and despite all the cultural differences, how did we make it work?
I think this is down to personality. The fact that we're quite strong personalities and we have a lot of patience. We worked on that, but we realised that if we
I worked on that.
Yeah, you did.
You had
I had a
lot
lot of patience. Which kudos to you, by the way. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Salute to you. I think with anything, any relationship, there's this misconception, isn't there, that you need 50-50 for a relationship. I don't think that's true. Mm-hmm. I think at times it could be 80-20 or it could be 90-10. You know, sometimes you could be pouring more and your partner might be requiring that energy, and then vice versa. When you're having a bit of a dull moment, your partner then pours into you. I think that is one thing that we do very well, as to why we've overcome so many struggles and got ourselves to this point so far. I'm sure there's going to be loads more, but if you have...
Not really.
Oh, maybe. But maybe. But I think the thing is, the fundamental thing for us both was that our goals aligned. Mm-hmm. We want to go forward in life.
And also, we laughed over our struggles.
We did.
It's not that we let our struggles take over.
True.
We laughed through our struggles. We had our bad moments.
Yeah, of course.
Sad and all that, but we didn't let it take over. Okay, we're sad, okay, it's finished.
Yeah.
It's not like we let it carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That made us stronger, for sure.
And also, guys, marry for love, not for money.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
You can make money together, you know?
Yeah. You just need to align your goals and just work towards it.
Yep.
How did we bridge the cultural gaps?
That's a difficult one for me, because I didn't see any cultural differences. And maybe for me that was because I've already bridged two cultures.
I saw. It was the fact that you needed at the beginning, so let's say the first 6 months until I understand, you were in need of so much please and thank you. That was a big thing for me, because I was for the way I was seeing things. I was kind on how I was putting the question or asking for something. But from you, kindness would come through words, so please and thank you. So for me, that was a cultural gap that I needed to cover.
Yes.
Because I needed it to work.
This is actually very true. I think the thing is, sometimes maybe I've taken it for granted, because for me, I've bridged the gap between obviously my English upbringing, being born and brought up here in England, alongside obviously my culture of Punjabi, and then obviously my religion, which is Sikh. Having to work and navigate all of those together to make me who I am, I think I took it a little bit for granted, because you come straight with just your Greek culture. You weren't born and brought up in England. Mm-hmm. So I think it was very difficult for you at the beginning to navigate all of that. Whereas for me, bringing in different cultures, having met all of these people from different walks of life, because England is such a multicultural country, it was easier for me to be able to pick things up and be like, well, okay, this is how it is. But what I didn't realise is, in fact, if you haven't been raised in England, how would you have that psychological thinking that I already have? Mm-hmm. So that took a lot, actually.
Mm-hmm. And also, we didn't mention that when we met, I was going through my personal hell, and you were going through your personal hell.
Absolutely, we were, yes.
But what we did, instead of just carry on with our lives, we hold each other's hands.
We did.
And we just walk through our
together.
through hell together.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we healed individually and as a couple together, which is quite unique, and I don't think it's easy to do.
I agree. We were both going through some really difficult times.
Two people coming together, both with a lot of weight on their back,
yeah,
and be able to combine a life together, which we live together since 4 months in our relationship.
Yeah.
Be able to bring that all together and go through it. We had some tough times.
We had some really tough
because times. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing.
No.
I don't think people are going through that. I mean, I'm sure there are people are meeting in
but it's not
dark
normal.
places. Yeah, it's not normal.
Yeah.
We are not normal.
No, we're definitely not. I think the thing is the extent of burden that you were going through and the extent of the burden that I was going through was so intense that we were trying to deal and heal individually. But one thing I realized is even if you've healed individually, when you then find somebody who wants to understand and unpack the burden with you, even though they've got their own burden to go through, that intensifies on a whole different level. Because you haven't put in the inner work as a couple yet. You may have done the inner healing yourself as a personal individual, but coming into a relationship, you then realize all of the gaps.
3 cultures and
and everything, and it was just like,
language.
Whoa. It was phenomenally big, I think, the struggle that we were going through. Because we each had our own demons and past that we were dealing with.
Sorry to interrupt you. One thing you kept saying from the beginning was, bad times don't last forever.
I did say that. Bad times.
You said it many times on our bad, hard times, however you wanna call it, and you were right.
Yeah.
You were right. You wanna go here?
Yeah. So we're a couple of years later now, aren't we?
Not couple.
It's 3.5.
3 and a few months.
Yeah. 3 years and a few months ahead of all of that.
Married.
We're now married. Είμαι έγκυος.
Είσαι έγκυος.
Είσαι. I allow you the platform.
We're expecting a child.
We are. So we're going to now figure out what a ginger Asian looks like.
I already have a son, by the way. My son is 7 years old.
He's great. Beautiful relationship we've all got together.
Yeah. We're gonna bring maybe a ginger Indian, not Indian, ginger Punjabi. Or
Greek Sikh incoming.
Greek Sikh. Yeah, our kids are going to raise Sikhs and whatever they want to choose after that is on them. We're gonna teach them what Sikhism teaches, which is kindness and love for the people around you, because all is one and we are all the same energy and we are the same.
We are, absolutely.
All Sikhism teaches is that is all is one.
All is one.
We're not here to preach. We're not here to preach about the religion. Me, I was born Christian. I was in the church for many years. Something happened. I stepped away from the church, and I was just trying to figure out what is what. And I ended up believing in the universe and in spirituality. Then you came along, and Sikhism was a new thing for me. And I love what Sikhism preaches. Not the Punjabi culture.
Yes,
just to write that down.
Yes, it's distinguishingly different.
What Sikhism teaches, which you will find on books and on what the Guru said. Anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, that can be another podcast for sure. That's your journey.
Yeah, you mother of my children.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. That would be pretty much. I don't think that was 20-30 minutes, maybe it was an hour.
Maybe, yeah, we're sorry about that. We
maybe
did
even
talk
more.
quite a lot. So yeah. Yeah,
that's it pretty much. Excited that we shared part of our story with you.
Yeah, a monumental moment happening.
Excited to share even more.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we're gonna keep being consistent because we can really help couples that they are coming from different cultures and different backgrounds, and also people that they weren't themselves in the past and now they are in a better place, and they might be judged from their past.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We
are here to help.
We are on that.
By sharing our story.
Absolutely. However, you can change your narrative at any given point. So you don't have to be stuck in your past and who you used to be. You can make that change from today, and you will find people who will allow you to, or give you the space to be who you want to be as of today, because you can change it at any given point and move forth with your life the way that you want, given the new narrative that you create for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to live in judgment by other people, only you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you will find people who allow you that space.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention a quote that a friend of mine said, Sensei Ross, everything is as it's supposed to be. Accept it for what it is. You are on the right place at the right time. You just need to work on yourself and find the love of your life and spend spend your time with the person that you love.
And who loves you.
And who loves you, of course, yeah. It's give and take.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this episode will come to an end.
Yes, it indeed will do. Guys, please follow us on Instagram, subscribe for more. We want to also say thank you so much for the love and support that we've received so far. Going forward, we want to be able to offer the platform which allows so many cultures to come together and for everyone to realise that actually all is one.
All is one.
All is one.
We are all one.
Oh yeah.
See you later.
Bye.